Hi guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming, and today we're going to be taking a look at Alone in the Dark 2024. I will make this distinction because I might do a video on the original at some point, so we better make that distinction right now. So it's a survival horror game. It's available on PC, next-gen consoles, and I originally got it for Dad on his PS5 for Father's Day, and it looked okay watching him play it, so I was like, I'll pick it up on Steam, and it was 50 quid on Steam. I was like, no. And then it was on sale for 35. I was like, yes. So, so I don't get it there. It is, of course, a remake of the early 90s game, which I did have on floppy disk. I remember it had a little blue code book for copy protection with it. And it was really sort of the forefather of the standard survival horror, fixed camera angles, tank controls, walking about, limited ammo, all that sort of stuff that Resident Evil would go to expound on and sort of go one way with it, and Silent Hill will expound on and go the other way with it. So it's kind of the forefather of all those games. So if you like survival horror games, you have a debt to be paid to the original Alone in the Dark. So this new one, it does make several changes from the game.
It's too dark.
You do have the standard two characters that you could pick from the original, but unlike the original, they arrive together, and they're voiced by and depicted by actors. So you've got David Harbour, him of the Hellboy nonsense movie, and also I need to look up her name. I've just forgotten her damn name. What the how is that? I literally did some research on it, and no, so you got Edward Carnby, who is David Harbour, Hellboy thingamajigger, and then you've got Jodie. Is it Jodie? I think it's Jodie. We'll go with Jodie, because I think it's Jodie. So Jodie Comer, who I remember being in Free Guy, the Ryan Reynolds sort of online game movie. But because it's spelt a certain way, I'm not going to call her Comer. She's Jodie Comer. I like it better. We'll go with that. Plus, she's never going to hear this, so there you are. So what else has changed? It plays quite a lot like Silent Hill Shattered Memories, in the fact that while you're walking around the manor, solving puzzles, finding clues, that sort of thing, there's really not any threat. It's when you get pulled into sort of the other world, which is the memories of... I'll go a little bit into it. Jeremy is basically Emily's, or Jodie's, relative, and he's checked himself in the Deserto, whatever, which is a home for the mentally fatigued, which is a nice way of saying mental people. And he's checked himself in there, and he's been dabbling in the dark arts and attached something bad in the form of the Dark Man to Deserto, and he's gone missing. It's like dabbling in the dark arts is always a sensible thing to do. Unless you're in 40k, get that Slaneshi pussy. That's all I'm saying.
That's one big treat of it.
If you're going to sell your soul, sell it for beer, burgers, and pussy. That's all I'm saying. So, and you sort of get pulled into his memories, which have different... you'll go on the streets of Louisiana, to a crashed steamer ship, to a library... And that's the part where bad guys are. These gloppy sort of black gooey creatures that look a little bit like the oily BOWs from Resident Evil 6. Is it 6? No, 7. I always forget 6. Never mind. So they're basically black and gloppy and sort of... They can be humanoid or sort of insectoid or that sort of thing. They're not hugely interesting. They're just there so you've actually got an enemy to fight, I think, more than anything else. Occasionally in the mansion you will pick up something that will trigger like the room to change, but as soon as you know that you're changing, that you can have a little fight with someone and then go on. So it does kind of signpost it, so you're not taken sort of completely unawares. There's a lot of puzzles in the game. Some of them are pretty good, actually. I found having to refer to like the notes that you pick up in order to solve the puzzles and cross-reference them with like pictures, and it was slightly more interesting than the sort of just match key with door kind of thing, which it still does have, in fairness. So Sorry, I'm still getting over my damn cough. But it is much better, so I'm a little bit more frisky today. I don't know if you can tell. The combat itself, you pick up a few guns. You have quite limited ammo, but there seems to be quite a lot of it around, so it's never really an issue. There's also melee weapons. The melee weapons do break, but there's plenty of those around as well. They range from like shovels, fireplace pokers, hatchets, that sort of thing. That you would expect to find around a slightly rural estate, basically. The performance of both the actors are fine. I don't think either is going like, I must do this, I want that BAFTA sort of level of performance. I think they're doing, okay, I'm getting paid. Serviceable. There you go, that's the word we're looking for there. They work fine in the roles. I don't find... Jodie Comer. I'm still going with that. Is an interesting specimen. The fact that like sometimes she's all right, like attractiveness wise, sometimes not. She's certainly not cracking my top 10. Let's just put it that way. We'll do her a solid. So there are still puzzles in the game like rotating tiles. It's not the irritating slide block ones, which I am fucking shit at. You actually pick them up, rotate them, and put them back down again. So, God, thank you for that, at least. I hate sliding block puzzles. I am so terrible at them, it's ridiculous. I just cannot get my head around the damn things. It's like, I would just pick that bastard apart and just smash it back in the correct order from the top, basically, and break it. I'm sure that would work, though, yes? In terms of, like, being a scary game, it's not particularly scary. It does a very nice job sort of with its atmosphere, and it looks okay. It looks okay graphically. I think like it's sort of more than the sum of its parts. I mean, you could like if you go up close to something, you can criticize the textures, stuff like that. But when it's all like with the lighting and the atmosphere and the sound going, the atmosphere's pretty good on it, I gotta say. The performance, let's go to performance. So performance on PC is for the most part fine. I was getting, I think, mostly like plus 120 frames per second. It does have these interesting stutters. I wasn't able to sort of nail it down to a specific action I was doing that caused it, but occasionally it would drop down to like 50 or something and then go back up again, so you get a little stutter there. Outside of that, the cutscenes are locked at 60. Now, this is an interesting sort of almost cross-platform review. So when I was with Dad and he was playing it on Father's Day, we experienced a number of technical issues. Now, I will stress he didn't download the patch. So he had stuff like the ambient sound and like, well, the sound disappearing basically. Getting stuck in menus. The game just locking up. We had to reset it about 4 or 5 times over the course of, I think, 3 or 4 hours that he was playing. Now, as I said, that was unpatched, so out of the box. There was a patch that was available, and here's the interesting thing. The patch was 35 gig. The entire game download for PC is less than that.
Private investigator.
What is going on? I don't quite know. I mean, maybe the PS5 version is slightly bigger. I could maybe buy that, but just the fact that it's basically replacing the entire game that you've already installed is a bit okay. But so I wasn't able to see it after he applied the patch, but as I said, the PC version is largely okay, which is good because you probably won't be getting any more patches because the company that
come back tomorrow.
are responsible, and I cannot remember the name of.
Right?
Wait, you can't.
Don't worry, we'll be discreet.
No, I'd have to Google
In
whatever.
the corridor. It's the first door on your left.
But yeah, they've been shut down by the Embracer Group because this didn't meet sales targets, as per usual. I'll tell you what, there's only going to be like a few studios left for a few years' time, and they're getting shut down all over the damn shop. Or at least AAA studios, I suppose. The indies will still flourish, I imagine, which is good. But I kind of miss the days when AAA games were like worthy of the name AAA. It's kind of like you buy a AAA game and then you have to wait like a few months before you actually get all of it, or before it becomes fully playable because there's some problem with it, or it hasn't been infested with like Sweet Baby nonsense. You know, I mean, when you're paying like 70 quid for a game, that's why I like Stellar Blade so much. It's a damn good game. Gives you a great time. Yes, it's expensive, but you know, it gives you exactly what you're looking for from a AAA game, and I love it.
I found a book full.
I mean, Helldivers 2, even though that one isn't even AAA, really. You know, because I got him that and Alone in the Dark, because he's a lucky boy for Father's Day.
Place he wants to go
I don't. He only plays it one game at a time though until he finishes it. It's kind of strange like that. Me, I like try both, and then whatever I attach to most is the one I play more. But no, he'll only play one at a time. So I doubt he's even touched Helldivers 2 yet, which is a shame because that's probably the one he's going to need some hand holding on, because he won't want to play it online. He'll want to play it solo, and then he'll pop a blood vessel trying to work out how to make it play solo. But whatever. I've kind of gone off the tracks there. So yes, the Alone in the Dark studio has now been shut down, and no, I still haven't remembered the name of the damn thing. But so that's a shame, because it's not a bad game.
Some sort of talisman.
I mean, it's not. You know, I would play Resident Evil 4 remake over it, definitely, or 2 or 3, just because I prefer those slightly more bombastic games. This game is not bombastic.
I'd be crazy too if I had this much junk lying
There's
around.
actually not a huge amount of combat in it, and most of it's quite easy. The first time I was really challenged was when I was in a tunnel, and it spawned numerous enemies at both ends of the tunnel. And I didn't realise they were behind me as well as in front, so I was plinking off the guys in front and then got smacked from behind. Your characters do have a dodge button, so you can dodge, and that with the left stick obviously makes you dodge in certain directions so you can get out the damn way, which is always a good idea. The reload time on Edward's starting pistol is atrocious because it's a revolver, but that makes sense. Emily does start off with an automatic pistol that holds one more bullet and obviously is magazine fed, so it reloads a lot quicker. So I might be tempted to say use Emily for your first go. It is worth playing twice. You get different levels and different cutscenes for the two characters, filling in sort of more of the story. The story is...
Come on, let's go.
It is out there. You will start off... It will start to come together sort of as you get further on, but at the beginning it feels very disjointed and weird, I think is the best way to put it. That seems to be a thing, what with Alan Wake 2 and stuff like that. Coming out, they're going for a more art house approach to storytelling. I'm not sure if I like it, to be honest. I mean, I can appreciate what they're going for, but sometimes I just, want my story. I don't want to have to fucking
What the hell is going on?
bounce around and try and remember something that happened at the beginning of the game that makes something that happens 20 hours in make sense. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Probably not, but maybe because I am weird. There you go. So Alone in the Dark is, I would say it's above average. The separation of the combat and the house kind of kills the fright, because generally speaking you're entirely safe when you're walking around a house. Occasionally you'll pick something up, like I say, and the room will change and you'll get attacked, but it's not really shocking. There are a few instances of it trying to jump scare you with loud noises, but they never really worked on me. And you're never really careful about that. You're just running through it. Okay, and then you want to go check the map, and it is a bit it is very much sort of in the vein of Resident Evil, where you have to go back and forth as you gain access to more of the mansion. So it's a bit Metroidvania, but in a house rather than a sprawling map. And that's decent, and it seems nicely gated off. You do get an objective list, which helps, and it will display on the map what doors are blocked, what are locked, which ones you have keys for, and it will actually show you which puzzles you actually have the solutions for. So if you've picked up a book and don't realize it contains the solution for something, it will show you on the map by turning that puzzle icon green, and then you'll be like, okay, I've got something that will help me deal with that, and then you can go through your inventory and look at what you've picked up. So that's quite a nice detail, because otherwise, you know, if you think like what you're picking up is just fluff, like in most games, it's really not. You need to read. And I think a lot of the backstory of the game is also delivered like that, unfortunately, which is not the best way of doing it, because most people will pick up and they'll have a quick look, see what it is, and be like, okay, right, fine, that's a manifesto of patience or something, without actually looking at the patience and be like, whatever. And for the most part, to play the game, you don't need to see it, but I think you get more out of it if you do stop and read. But there is a lot. Some of the stuff you pick up is like 5 pages to it. So there's quite a lot of reading involved. I do like it. I don't regret spending 35 quid on it, which is more or less, I think, about what I spent on Dad's copy of it as well. Because physical copies are cheaper somehow. How is that a thing? How is that a thing? Well, why? You have to make a physical copy, not just like allocate bandwidth to see you download it. It's greedy Sony and Microsoft with their fucking stores, and to some extent Steam as well. So, but yeah, PC's games. They are, but for the most part, PC games are sticking to like 50, but some AAAs are seeking console parity, bunging on another 20 quid.
Oh yeah.
Like I think there's 2K WWE game was like that. I think, if I remember correctly. Certainly all the Call of Duties are. Jesus Christ, and they don't depreciate either. You have to go back well far to find a Call of Duty that's like been discounted heavily, unless it's in a Steam sale, of course. Otherwise, like the one from 2 years ago is still like 50 quid. You're like, what the
It's some magic charm you got from Miss Jackson.
That's Vanguard, man. That one sucked. I didn't even buy that one.
You know, surprising things come.
Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on Alone in the Dark. If you're a more bombastic-seeking sort of Resident Evil style horror fan, probably don't go for it.
Thanks. I'll have a look.
If you're after a more sort of slow-paced, more cerebral approach to horror, more in the veins of Silent Hill, but not quite, then maybe give it a go. I probably would have been disappointed if I paid 50 quid for it, to be honest. I don't think it's a 50 quid worthy game. I think releasing it probably at that price point with the technical issues it had at launch probably was a mistake, and they would have done better pricing it more as a AA game. So talking like 35, 40 quid, somewhere around there. God, that's depressing, isn't it? And actually fixing the bugs before it came out, because I know it got kicked around in the initial reviews when it came out, which I believe was
Anything I can
March?
do for...
I think it was March it
Sorry,
released.
I didn't catch your name.
Can I tell?
Just tell my sister Lottie
I
how
could
I
tell, but
see it.
again, Google, whatever. So, yep, that's my thoughts on Alone in the Dark.
All right.
Not bad.
Heading out.
Not bad, I think.
Careful
I think we'll go with that. Anyway, guys, that's all from me. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.